Welcome back to Amplified. We are exactly 2 weeks away from the first of the month. And that means that rent will be due for millions of tenants around the country. As COVID-19 cases are expected to continue to rise in parts of the country, housing experts are warning that the United States is heading toward another potential pandemic of sorts, a widespread eviction crisis. Congress allocated roughly $47 billion in emergency aid for renters through stimulus packages, yet several states are saying that they haven't gotten their fair share. As a result, many stopped accepting new applications for federal assistance. And over the weekend, tenants in New York State are expected to continue making payments to landlords after the eviction pause was lifted, despite the fact that more than 500,000 families still need help keeping a roof over their heads. Now more than ever, many are concerned about the long-term consequences of this eviction crisis. For more on this, I want to bring in Genesis Aquino. She is the executive director of New York State Tenants and Neighbors. Genesis, welcome to Amplified. I want you to start by giving us an overview of the types of stories that you are seeing with people who just simply can't make their rent payments right now.
It is very saddening. Just this week, we have just today, we had over 100 people call us because they don't know what they are going to do next if they don't get money to pay the rent back. Right now in New York State, we have about 225,000 people waiting on eviction. And I have no words.
Oh my gosh, they're just waiting. So tell us what happens next then. Like, where do renters and landlords, I guess for that matter, go from here? And how do we expect that the eviction process is actually going to play out going forward?
Well, right now, the Supreme Court forced New York State to reopen the ERAP application. So as of last week, it opened, and tenants can still apply for the Emergency Rental Assistance Program. But the problem is that we got very limited funding, as you mentioned earlier. We only got 27 million when we requested 1 billion. So there's not going to be enough money for everybody who is in need right now. And not everybody who's facing an eviction case in housing court is going to be able to get the money so they can stay in their homes. So yes, they do have temporary protection as long as they apply for the moratorium. And we also have the we have the Tenant Safe Harbor Act in New York State, but that does not protect people who are facing holdovers, just non-payment cases. So what we are asking right now is for the governor and the state legislature to pass permanent protections for tenants, because it is unfair for tenants to have to keep waiting for a moratorium all the time. And right now, it's expired, and we got no word from the legislation. We don't know
How
what's going to
unsettling
happen.
is that? I mean, people are just in limbo at this point, waiting to see if there's going to be another moratorium, another moratorium. It's an awful way to live. I mean, just every single day, not knowing what's going to happen. I'm curious, could you tell us, you just said that pretty much you only got a quarter of the money that you asked for, first of all. Why was the distribution of federal rental assistance funds to states such a messy process?
I believe the main reason is because our government has not prioritized the needs of working families. It have prioritized the needs of the real estate industry. You have made that clear over and over. The CDC moratorium got struck down by the Supreme Court after the real estate lobby asked the Supreme Court to do this. So we are a country prioritizing capitalism and not people welfare. And I think that is the main problem we are having. Unfortunately, we are seeing that eviction cases nationwide are uh, correlated and associated with the increase of COVID infections and death. So it is very saddening. I think right now we need our federal government to prioritize people and pass uh, the Build Back Better Act that includes
Mm-hmm.
funding for extremely low income people, and homeless people. That's why in New York State, we are pushing for the Good Cause Eviction Bill, which is a bill to give protection against eviction to people who do not live in rent stabilized apartments, people who live in market rate buildings. We are also pushing for the state to expand a Section A version, a Section A voucher in New York State to protect people who are currently in the homeless shelter and people who are about to face evictions. These are permanent solutions that the governor knows about and the state legislature, and they are choosing daily not to take action on.
So we think about the
Yes.
consequences of not taking action. And of course, homelessness is the obvious and immediate threat that looms for so many people, so many Americans, and of course, New Yorkers here. But some advocates are urging lawmakers to also be on alert for threats to public safety. Brooklyn District Attorney Eric Gonzalez wrote a piece in the Daily News calling for an extension to the eviction pause, noting all of the mental and physical stressors that come with evictions and low-income lifestyles. He called for lawmakers to commit to solving the affordable housing crisis, period. I'm curious, what are your thoughts? Is public safety a factor that's being overlooked during these discussions?
Of course. I mean, we can see that the Biden administration have not even prioritized homeless people to get the at-home COVID testing. There's no way that people can get that in their homeless shelter, for example, because it requires for them to have a residential address. That's problematic, I think. And also, nationwide, there are about 80 states that enact the new eviction laws, but most renters live in states that have very few or no eviction protection at all. So, and as I said earlier, most eviction cases are tied to places that have high uh, incidences of COVID-19. And what we know is that most people who are dying of COVID-19 or are getting affected by COVID-19 are people who live already in low income communities, people who come from Black and Latino and indigenous backgrounds. Those are the people being affected. Those people have been marginally affected, have been affected for historically affected in the United States. So there is a very tight correlation with that and public safety because those are the same population that also have very low access to healthcare. And that's one of the main reasons why they have been more at risk of contracting COVID-19. So there is no way to detach those from each other. It's a lot of,
I'm
yes.
No, I'm so glad that you brought up this intersectional kind of complication that people are experiencing because home and health absolutely go together, and for there not to be a focus on COVID testing, supporting people, taking care of people who are without a home right now, especially in the wake of the fact that there's going to be possibly a lot more people who are without a home at the end of this, is just so ridiculous. Hannah, I would just quickly, we have like 10 seconds. Tell people, especially here in New York, where they could reach out to perhaps your organization to get some support.
So in New York City, people have the opportunity to apply for the ERAP right now. They can also call Tenants and Neighbors at 212-608-4320. They can also call 311 in order to get legal representation and more information.
Hannah Aquino, thank you so much for coming on tonight. It was great to talk to you. We appreciate you sharing everything that's going on.